because of the time I grew up in. But
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I genuinely liked Saul Campbell as a defender, lads.
Campbell was good. Campbell was a good player.
I thought he was, and when he came from Spurs that time, that
Yeah.
made it even,
Yeah.
bittersweet for the guys, but
Campbell was good.
great
Well,
player.
then what Tony Adams?
Torre was good too,
Torre was very good.
underrated.
Underrated. William Gallas.
Well, Gallas,
he was coming to the end door.
Then he went to Spurs.
He went around actually, didn't he? Go all around London.
Chelsea.
He wore them all, didn't he? He went Spurs,
Yeah.
Chelsea, Arsenal.
Chelsea first. He won the league and all. Chelsea,
Yeah.
I think, didn't he?
Mercenary, sure they all win the league when they leave Arsenal.
Well, listen, when people talk about centre backs, you're naming out names there. But for me, personally speaking, Tony Adams is the greatest centre back I've ever seen for
Yeah.
Arsenal. And there's a name never mentioned, and it
Martin
cracks
Keown
me
was a
up.
good player too.
Martin Keown was absolutely
Brilliant.
sensational
Yeah.
player.
Brilliant. But you know what? Him and Steve Bold were bouncing off each other at the time.
Was you both have each other?
Yeah.
Keown was at Arsenal. He left Arsenal in the late 80s and he joined up with Everton. And he spent a 2 or 3 year period with Everton and came back to
Came
Arsenal.
back. Well, didn't he go on loan? Didn't they let him out on loan?
I can only remember Keown with Everton. He was at Arsenal, right to Everton, back to Arsenal. And maybe he was Pat, but
He
from my,
replaced,
from my memory,
I think he replaced Steve Bold at the time.
well, I do know that the two boys, they did bounce off each other. But to me, Martin Keown was a better defender than Steve Bold.
Oh,
Now, Steve Bold was a good defender, don't get me wrong.
I do agree with that
But
one.
Martin Keown,
Yeah,
I
he
thought
was
was
faster.
faster.
Faster,
They
yeah.
used to call him the Rasher.
That's
Or
right.
the Rash.
The Rash.
Because he stuck to you. And Alan Shearer once said,
What a great
Alan
player.
Shearer, that's one said, the toughest centre back he ever played against, Martin Keown.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know
Do
about
you
that.
remember when Van Nistelrooy missed the penalty?
Oh, yeah.
Keown got in his face.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I remember watching
I
that.
remember that. That's-
Down in Legends pub down there.
Well, my brother is a Man United fan. And when
Oh,
Martin
that's right,
Keown
yeah.
started jumping at that, me and him they went to blow us in the sitting room because I started jumping into his face. I tell you one thing, that's war in the sitting
I
room.
was hopping around the
Oh, I tell you.
And little do we know we go on to
But you see, you don't see that anymore. But between Arsenal and United. We said it before.
like you said there with the Lingard earlier on.
Yeah. Like I said, pick them up on tomorrow.
Maybe back then they picked you up, but you got the.
Oh, they wouldn't even look at it. They wouldn't even look at it.
But football has changed because
It's changed.
it's become a more kind of financial kind of investment. So
Yeah.
that's why they brought in, they got away with the tackles because players getting injured through tackles.
Yeah.
People want to be compensated for that. So other clubs, if you were to do that now, geez, the lads getting millions for rolling around on the ground. I mean, you can't even touch a player now. Look at
Can't touch
Neymar.
a Neymar, yeah. The most overpaid footballer.
He should have went to the
He's
Olympics for somersaults. You know what I mean?
Scandalous.
Gymnastics,
He's
but,
scandalous.
When he took the piss in the last World Cup.
Scandalous.
Yeah, I mean, football to a degree has gotten better in some aspects,
Yeah.
but gotten chronically worse
Yeah.
in other aspects.
It's terrible, sir.
What about the most or the least favourite player at Arsenal?
Well, it's not Adam on me. That's how you have me answer straight away.
Oh, you go, Kyle then.
Go do Kyle, so.
This is controversial, but I don't care. I face anyone about this. The least favourite player ever to wear an Arsenal jersey, I mean ever. Mesut Ozil is an absolute disgrace, in my opinion. He's the worst player I ever saw to wear an Arsenal jersey.
Good footballer, bad player, and what you mean by that is he's not a team player, right?
I tell you what I mean, Pat. This man is a World Cup winner.
Mhm.
This man can play football. This man is world class. This man is at Arsenal Football Club. Now let me get this straight off the bat. His contract ends in 2021. By the time his contract ends in 2021, Mesut Ozil, on wages alone, just wages, from Arsenal, from our club, is at to collect 157 million pound sterling. For fucking what?
So let me ask you this then, right? If you're Ozil, right?
Yep.
You're on 350k.
Yep.
And obviously there's stuff going on in the background that we're not aware of in the dressing room and all that, and there's franchise stuff to think about, and obviously the agent is doing some
Yeah.
work in between, and Arteta has his plans, etc. There has been times where I've looked at Ozil and went, "Gee, he's not fit to wear that shirt," right? And then there's been other times where I go, "Jeez, he's the only man on the pitch," right? But for me to be an Arsenal player, you have to be consistent with you have to be consistent with results as well and the way you play. But if I was Mesut Ozil and I know that the fans are talking about me, and I know that the media's talking, I would probably feel a little bit guilty and probably want to leave, right? Because you kind of feel bad or whatever. But clearly he doesn't feel that way because you get 350k a week. So why would you?
If I was on 350,000 a week at Arsenal Football Club and not kicking the ball, I would do the exact same as he's done. I'd be taking me money. You can't blame the man for taking his wages.
This is what I'm saying. So, and I know the guys on AFTV talk about it. Like, why would you move if you were?
You wouldn't.
You wouldn't. I would drain the club.
But you see, here's the thing.
Drain the club.
You have to have morals. Every man in this world should have his own morals and ambitions as a man. That's what we are. We're men. Now, he came from a family. He has a mother and a father.
He's a rich mother and father, no?
He has children or whatever the case may be in his personal life. Would he not think, like if I was in his position, if I didn't fucking bother, if I didn't care, I care for my parents, I care for my friends, I care for my family, I leave a legacy behind me. You asked me a question a few minutes ago, who's the greatest player that ever played for Arsenal? Dennis Bergkamp, I say. Is that not a legacy?
But he got, and when you compare both, right, he got buttons.
Buttons.
They played for the crest.
You have Mesut Ozil, who the three of us know can play football.
Oh,
and on his day, he can be world class. Why not leave a legacy behind you? When people in 30 years' time say, what was Mesut Ozil like? For you to turn around and say, he's up there with Dennis Bergkamp and Thierry Henry, which he should be, but he's not. He's nowhere fucking near. I have seen players come and go off from that club who don't have half the ability that Mesut Ozil has. But you remember him because he put his heart out on the pitch, he tried. I want Ozil to try. Just try. You don't have to be exceptional.
I think at this point though, whatever happened in the dressing room, and it got, let's be honest now, it got a bit sour even when Wenger was there.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
And then the whole, Sanchez and all that kind of stuff happened in the background.
I don't blame Ozil, by the way, for the contract he got. I blame Wenger and
completely agree with you.
And Ivan Gazidis. They're the boys because they had Sanchez and Ozil. Yeah. And Sanchez went to United. Now the boys are under pressure. When the fans are going to crack, we have to keep one of them.
But that shows how weak
the board was.
At the time, they were vulnerable at the time because they knew that they were after selling the likes of Van Persie, Fabregas, all these players after leaving.
And then they get through the Sanchez.
There's no ambition anymore.
Yeah.
So when there's no ambition and you're a top player like Ozil,
of
course you're going to throw the rattle. You're going to do things that are not going to be, you're not going to suit people. You're just going to suit yourself.
Yeah.
Would it be fair to say that?
It's fair to say that. And
this is his last.
This is his last year, thank God.
This is his last contract.
Thank God.
I think Ozil knows he's finished.
He's finished.
I know I think he understands that he can't stay at Premiership level of fitness, and this is what people don't understand.
Yeah.
As an athlete, because that's what they are, lads.
They're athletes, right? Yeah.
You can be a professional footballer up to you're 40, right? You say, oh, yes, he's 40. How is he still going? If you're 40 and you're competing at the same level and you're consistent, injury-free, of course you're going to have it. Like, look at Roberto Carlos and them boys. They went on into their late 30s, right? Exactly, right? But they never got injured. They were able to be consistent. Ozil is not consistent.
No.
He knows he's on his last year. He's not going to go anywhere, lads. Nothing's going to happen, in my opinion. This
he's staying at Arsenal and he's going to take another 18 million again this year out of the club.
As an Arsenal fan, I think it's a disgrace. But as a person from the outside looking in, which is hard to do because I'm an Arsenal fan, but if you look in it that way,
you can't blame the man.
They'll be looking at him going, sure, of course he's going to do that.
Yeah.
50 quid a week to sit in the bench, who wouldn't want to do that?
That's what I'm saying. As a man, like I don't blame. You can't blame him for doing that. But I just go back to the same principle. You have to have some sort of morals. You have to have some sort of respect within yourself as an individual. And to me, he has no respect whatsoever. He has a wife. He's only newly married. I think he has a daughter. I think now.
He's set up anyway financially for the rest of his life.
For that, yeah. So do it for them. Go out and just put in a bit of effort. Jesus Christ almighty tonight, I was watching El Neni today. The man went out, he tried. He's not the greatest of footballers, but he tries.
Tried.
Xhaka tries.
Yeah.
I don't personally like Shaq and myself, but to try. This fucking Mr. Ozil's a superstar and he won't even try.
Arsenal being cute about it too because they know they're selling jerseys with Ozil's name.
Of course. And Arteta, and I know we're going to talk about Arteta there in a while, so I'll just basically roughly say this to you. That Arteta, there's one thing I like about Arteta. He takes no crap. He don't care who you are. And he's done that with Ozil. Ozil couldn't even make the squad today. Pat, the man couldn't make the squad against Fulham.
Surely that's good
300
signs.
yards away from Arsenal Football Club.
Surely,
Come on.
surely that's good signs of a manager listening to the fans as well. He, like, you know, he was an Arsenal player himself.
Yeah.
He was Arsenal captain.
Yeah.
You know, he lifted trophies both as a captain, as a player, and
Yeah.
as a manager. So I think he understands what's going on.
Well, you see, I mentioned Ozil as my least favourite player, and the reason, like, listen, I've seen players come and go throughout the years that are terrible footballers. Francis Jefferson and fellas.
Franny Jeffers.
But the thing is, and
Every-
Ozil is 100 times better footballer than them fellas. But the reason why I'm saying Ozil is because of who he is, of his name, of his brand, of being a World Cup winner, the wages he's on, and what he should achieve in the game. The question I have to ask is, if anyone has a problem about this, I am open for conversation.
But this is your opinion, so
What
you know,
has this man achieved at Arsenal Football Club? What has he done with Arsenal Football Club?
a lot of money.
Only take a lot of money out of the club.
Uh,
Because, by Jesus, he hasn't put it on the fucking pitch. I have seen this man playing live numerous occasions, and I come out of the stadium shaking my head saying, what did that man actually do tonight, lads?
but
Listen, the fans outside the stadium saying, has he even touched the ball?
we watched him, right? And I want to come to you next because I want to get your feedback to it. But we watched him. Was it last year, or the year before last,
Up in the Aviva.
in the Aviva against Chelsea?
Friendly against Chelsea.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Never seen a touch like that.
Yeah.
Well, apart from Burkamp, but
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
Like he was.
Sure, I came out that game and said,
Oh,
Joe
no,
Ozil is going to be exhibited. What has he done since?
I know it's ridiculous now at this point.
It's absolute joke.
Let's move to Adam, because our battery is probably going to go on our camera, but your least favourite player and why?
Well, I was going to say, I was great player. Like I was going to say Van Persie.
He hurt you?
He hurt me, yeah, and it's the
Yeah.
one that hurt me the most. Hurt me more than Henri, even, to be honest. Because after Bergkamp, I followed the Dutch team.
Yeah.
Always have ever since Bergkamp, and I couldn't even follow them after he left.
Yeah.
It just hurt, and the way, like, don't get me wrong, he was my favourite player, like, with Arsenal at the time, and he carried us, in fairness to him, and he has his own reasons for leaving. You know, he wanted to win things, and he did. But it's just, you know, the photo of him. There's a photo of him when he was a child. Did you ever see that photo?
With the Arsenal jersey
in
on?
his room, in his Arsenal jersey, and there's pictures all over.
Yeah.
They think his bed covers are Arsenal. And then when he joined United, he said the little boy inside of him always wanted to play for Man United or something, or was crying out for Man United.
That's PR stuff.
And that,
you know?
I know, but
It's the way
it
he
was
done it.
disrespectful to the Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
And the truth about that, Adam, not cutting across you, but the truth of that matter is the Van Persie he didn't want to leave Arsenal.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Wenger
well,
forced him to leave Arsenal.
It was. He came out after on BT Sports.
Right,
and
yeah,
said,
but-
I
it's hard to know what to believe
Yeah.
as well at the same time.
I
I mean, they did offer him a contract.
They
well,
did.
well, he said
It just
they
wasn't what he was looking for.
I believe they did,
Yeah.
but then again, no one
Okay,
knows
well-
what goes on behind.
To kind of we'll keep going right with some of the questions, because I have got some of the questions that I want to ask you before we kind of wrap it up. Best signing, we'll just go straight answer. We won't go into it. Who do you think was the best signing for Arsenal apart from Bergkamp and Henri?
Apart from them,
I think I would go. I would, myself personally speaking, I'd go for Aubameyang.
Yep.
I think he's had to
Yeah.
take
I
us
thi-
up.
I
an
think
extra
yeah.
level.
I think he's brought Arsenal up to the next level.
Yeah.
in terms of football, Aubameyang, but funnily enough, because you're only after naming him as your worst player.
Was it?
At the time, what a signing, and it was. I remember the excitement remember coming home from, I was playing 7-a-side, coming home waiting for the announcement that Ozil had signed for Arsenal. And in terms of money and all that brought the club in,
Yeah.
they didn't invest it well, but I'm going to say Aubameyang, but I think Ozil is up there. Now I know he hasn't. I know in terms of he hasn't done a whole lot for us, but as a signing, like it was a massive signing at the time. Arshavin was another big one. It might, I know as a player again, but I remember the signing. He was a top player at the time in Europe, and big signings like. But I'm going to go with Aubameyang because he's after taking it. He's world class. He's probably the only world class player in the team at the minute.
Not a boo then, no. The boo. For me, it's a toss either between Robert Perez or Emmanuel Petit. I thought they were
Class.
significant class players. I think personally Emmanuel was so underrated because the Vieira thing.
Yeah.
But for me, he was just built like a shit house, and he was that anchor.
Great player.
Just, I thought he was a great midfielder at the time. His hairstyle could have been a little bit better, but you know.
Perez was class though.
Back in those days, but no mention of Van Bronckhorst.
We'll leave him there.
We leave him there. We park him, we.
Well, Aubameyang. The reason why I say Aubameyang is because of where we have been for the last. Jesus, is a 10-year or even more now. We've been just bang average, like.
Yeah.
And this man comes in, 112 games, 72 goals, and winning trophies with him as well. And he's starting to bring the team up, and he's captain. And
I'm on the fence with Aubameyang. I'm probably the only Arsenal fan that would say that to you. And the only reason I'm saying it to you is because personally I think Arsenal have been poor last couple of years. But they still have a couple of good players. I think Sandy Cazorla was one of the best signings we ever made as well.
half a penny about his injury.
But for me, one of the the heartfelt moments as a fan, I think, was when Fabregas left. I really liked Fabregas.
Yeah,
I loved the style of football. It was, he was great.
He suited
Arsenal.
He suited Wenger's.
Absolutely, his whole style. Never liked Sanchez.
I never liked Sanchez.
Never liked him. Just didn't like him.
Rotten attitude.
Yeah, Aubameyang for me, guys, is a goal scoring machine. But when you compare the goal scoring machine to a footballer, now when I talk about footballers, I'm talking about